Good. Part 2. Remi, yeah, so the beginning of your music life was exceptional, I would say. I envy you.
Mm-hmm.
When I played saxophone, I was in Japan and I had no teacher at all. And I started very late when I was 26.
Oh, wow.
So you started at... When did you start playing then the saxophone?
Well, first I started with the flute on a conservatory.
And you play a special flute. In your bio it was...
No, transfer.
normal flute?
Yeah,
Like this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I started playing this flute and piano, studying at the conservatory, harmony, solfege, the music. And then I came to New York at the Creative Music Studio.
So you went to high school, I guess, and then you graduated from high school, and then you went to a music...
The Creative Music Studio in Woodstock, New York.
Creative Music Studio,
New York.
CMS, right?
CMS, yeah, with Carl Berger.
So after you graduated from high school, you went?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
And after that, you went to study really in Mexico, right? Because you studied at...
I have a very strange things because I stayed here when I was living in New York.
When did you come to New York?
In '79.
Oh.
Yes. And I bought a saxophone, cheapest.
At Roberto's?
No, not at that time. Horrible butcher.
Oh, really?
The cheapest 300, something like that.
Okay.
And well, after the Creative Music Studio, there I met Don Cherry and Nana Vasconcelos, Carl Berger, and all Anthony Braxton, Roscoe Mitchell, etc. And then I was living here in Manhattan with Murat Verdi, another piano and percussionist.
Who?
Murat Verdi from Turkey, a Turkish guy.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you spell his last name?
Murat Verdi,
yes.
Like the composer Verdi.
Verdi, V-E-R-D-Y.
Yeah.
Murat is
Murat.
M-U-R-A-D?
Yeah.
Okay.
T. Yeah. So I stayed here a little bit, and then I had to go back to Mexico. So I went back. And I went back to Mexico with my flute and my saxophone. And after a couple months, I started working in Mexico City. Playing jazz, playing wild, because all my life, since the beginning, I wanted to play improvised music, free jazz music. In the beginning, I really didn't know about jazz standards.
Okay.
I didn't know that to be a jazz musician, you had to play the blues and the famous song of the bebop and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
What I bought in here, the real book.
Yes.
I found it. Oh, what is this? No? And I bought.
You mean saxophone books or jazz books?
No. The real book, the song of jazz songs. The standard song. So I went to Mexico and I started playing with a piano player, with a quartet. We started playing and studying, and then playing at the hotel, living my music, playing music, since the beginning. And then I studied at one place that is called the Escuela Superior de Música, School of Music in Mexico.
Is it private
in
or state?
81. No, it's not private. It's very, very, very cheap. No, it's not really private, but it's often supported by the government.
Okay.
Yeah, and there the teacher, the piano player, fantastic piano player, Francisco Telles, a great Mexican piano player.
How do you spell his last name?
Telles, T-E-L-L-E-Z.
Z, okay. Because I want to
I'm
check
very
out
bad at spelling names in English already.
Yeah, because we are videotaping now,
Yeah.
so I can, okay, good.
Yes. Yeah. So And after 1 year of studying at the university, at the school, he hired me to play with his quartet, Mexican quartet, was the name. The Mexican Jazz Quartet was the name of this group. So I started playing with him saxophone, and we played for about more than 4 years, you know. Every night from Tuesday to Sunday.
Really?
Every day.
Sunday,
Tuesday
Monday
to
off.
Sunday. Only Monday off.
Ah,
For a little amount of money, but learning, 4 years learning, and in the morning going to the university and learn with him
yes.
the arrange for big bands or this, and playing
okay.
different songs and whatever. So with him, he liked it also free jazz, open form. So we played, I don't know, many thousands of music. I remember he liked it a lot. Eric Dolphy's songs,
really?
like Missane, you know Missane? And very difficult. And some other songs of Eric Dolphy, or songs from Sam Rivers, or songs from Charlie Mingus, Charlie Parker, you know. But I never played through the really changes, you know, anthropology. And we could play anthropology, yes, but in my way, you know, play very rough, you know. I never really care about playing exactly the notes you should play on bebop. They play it like that. Of course, every time you learn how to do this a little bit, but it's not my way of thinking. I don't want to be a bebop player. I just want to develop my creativity through music, and
yes.
through jazz, and through expression that I have. And I try to study and to practice and to have the knowledge to play what I want, with the technique and with the harmony and the notes of the harmony and all of that. And so things went very good for me.
So you started, let's say, free, and then with your teacher, the 4 years you went back, like really study,
exactly.
right? And get your basics.
Let me tell you that I never had a saxophone teacher.
Ah, okay.
I am self-taught.
Yes.
On the saxophone, not on the flute, on saxophone, yes. But yes, I started in the opposite of Coltrane. All the jazz musicians tell you, you have to learn from the beginning of the history of the jazz, and then when you are the great jazz musician, then you can play free jazz.
Right.
And I say, no, you can play free jazz from the beginning of your life, and then start learning how to play your instrument and how to play the music you like. If you like jazz, try to learn how to play jazz, how to play on chords, how to play the scales. Or if you want bebop, try to play bebop and learn how to do it.
Right. Me personally, I really do understand you, because I'm even more radical than you. I play saxophone like you. I never play jazz. I never. And I don't want to, because exactly what you said about yourself, I wanted to be original from the beginning. I just wanted to play music I like. So I really do understand what you say. So when people say you don't know the basics, I say yes, I don't know. But do you know my basics? Do you know my music? No. Okay, then please study my music too.
Yes.
So I really do understand. But you know, I had a problem. I was also a jazz fan, like people like Archie Shepp and so, who, especially Archie Shepp, who was really free, and then went back to the standards. And this is something I never could understand. When you are free, you never go back.
Well, I don't know. It
Well,
depends.
it depends. You know, it's also how you live your music.
Yeah.
If your music is the way you do it, it's okay. But if you start to copy things or go back because you think something's missing, which is in fact not missing, because the environment, people around you tell you to do, then I say, why do that? You know, it's not what I want to do. But I'm really happy that you mentioned that, because now I know somebody who went the same way like me. Very good. So so now you started with the flute and then the saxophone, and when was then the first time you had your own band and you played your own music with your own band?
Yes, I think it was late 80s.
Late 80s.
Late 80s. Yes.
In Mexico or
in Mexico?
Mexico.
In Mexico. Then, after a while, I went to Paris, to live in Paris. I was there for 1 year and a half, at least. No? Just learning French at the streets, of course.
Ah, okay.
I'm playing at the street. I'm playing with many musicians, some French musicians from all around, and doing my salsa groups, also Latin groups, you know, to play in different parties or different things. And then, yes, I went back to Mexico City and I started doing my own projects after that.
That was what year?
Like 90s, the beginning of the 90s.
So,
yeah.
So the real Remi Alvarez was born then in the 90s when you went back and you knew what you wanted to do.
Yes, I always knew, but I didn't have really the musician, the music, and you have to, it takes time, you know? Especially when you live in Mexico. I mean, if you live in New York, you can see many things.
Yes.
It's fantastic not to live here, because I'm staying here for two weeks, and I have been playing with more than 5 drummers already, you know? And I have seen many concerts, many great saxophone players, like Joe Lovano, David Esguer, Evan Parker, Peter Broadman. Man, in 2 weeks.
And you played with them too?
No, I didn't play
but
with
you
him,
saw
but
them.
I saw them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I played with drummers, many different drummers. Harvey Sorgen, Jay Rosen, man, Barry Archer, bassist Joe Fonda. You know, you can find in here in Mexico, in New York,
Of course.
many creative artists. In Mexico, you cannot. So the time takes a little more for you to develop, and things happen like that.
Good. So let's stop here.